Okay, so I'm live. This is the movie and food people, and I thought I could do a special uh, this is really weird. It's gone to public. It's really odd. I don't know why it's gone to public, but we are, I think, live. I do have a thing about listening to people talk about all the Alien movies. For me, has always been, I don't know what it is, but I find it really interesting. The uh, it's I'm trying to I'm trying to I didn't plan this. So hold on. I guess we better start with the first one. So, Alien. What makes Alien so special? Why is it so special to us fans? Why? So I think really it's just about everything. uh, but you know, I mean, you've got Ian Holm, Sigourney Weaver, John Hurt. Who am I leaving out here? Con. Okay. I don't know why it's gone to public. That was completely unprecedented. It shouldn't be on public. It's actually quite nice when it's on. But public was what I wanted, but it was quite nice when it was on private because if you made any mistakes, then you could, you could you could just stop the thing. But so like I say, the first movie, it seems to be just about everything about it, which is good. Um, the cinematography, the the sets, the lighting, that's part of the cinematography, and the acting, of course, and the script is really good too. Yeah, the script is really good. Uh, it's just it's just there's somebody in the somebody has arrived. They've gone. They've gone. It's okay. It shouldn't be public. This video shouldn't be public. Jerry Goldsmith's music is really great, and it's a movie that feels like it hasn't really dated. It's a really quite the movie. Special effects are great. You know the well, we haven't mentioned H.R. Geiger, have we? H.R. Geiger, of course, designing the uh, the alien ship and the the alien itself, and it's called a xenomorph. And his artwork was just so extraordinary, and it must have been amazing. You know, going to see it in '79. It must have been. I think people were kind of terrified. Uh, this is actually from the third movie, but so I'm trying to think if I could mention anything else from the first movie. But it's just it's hard to talk about a movie that doesn't have any problems. The only possible problem that you could say is that at the very end of the movie, when the alien gets ejected out into space, uh, it does at that point look kind of like a guy in a suit. Um, but that's really just it's only really that part at the end. So, but it's quite a movie, and we now have the Alien stage play, which was made by those I think they're high schoolers, and they yeah, they did the whole thing, and Sigourney Weaver seemed to love what they were doing. I think it was something you had to be there in the room experiencing it, because it was very much a. It looked to me like it was very much an experience thing with sound and light, and like being there in an audience. I think would help that a lot. Um, and so at the very end of the first movie, she's put into cryostasis, and then uh, we get the next movie, which is Aliens. I'm not sure on the date for. I should have written the dates on the side here, shouldn't I? That would have been. I think it's something like 19. When was? Here's somebody watching me. Who? What year was Aliens? Was that 1984? Because I think it was like 84 or something. It might have been. They've disappeared again. So it's okay. So in the 80s we get another Aliens movie, and it's very much it's like a it's a different kind of a movie, because it's more sort of it's more action oriented than the first one, which was more kind of thriller suspense, and I guess a bit of mystery, and then there's some twists in it, but the second one is more of an action kind of a thing, and there's quite a lot of I guess we would say there's gadgets, like the weaponry, and the what's it called, the loader, and the got a train going by here. The motion detector thingy, yeah, because James Cameron he kind of likes gadgets and things, and but the movie. So I know that some people, I think that overall it's a much loved movie by a lot of people, and I think that I really loved it as a kid, and Sigourney Weaver is really great in it, and Lance Hendrickson is really great in it, and we've got Michael Biehn, and I'm trying to remember the guy who does new. And the soundtrack, I think, at this one is James Horner, and it's actually a really good soundtrack. It's and you've got the Alien Queen, and it's filmed in the UK with the same as the first one. The first one was filmed in the UK, and James Cameron was just kind of a young man at this point, and he had apparently quite a hard time of it, because they hadn't seen the Terminator, so they didn't respect him apparently, and they wanted to have tea breaks all the time, well, not all the time, but multiple times a day, and he just wanted to film, 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 and you know, he was a very frustrated man. So, uh, and it's instead of it being a wide screen, it's it's a 16 by 9 shape, and it's very kind of well. Okay, so it was grainy. They released a new version of it where AI removed the grain from. Yeah, they removed the grain, and I've seen clips from it, and it looks completely different, just completely different. And it's been quite controversial what they did with that. Uh, and of course the girl who played Newt, she's like a major thing in it. She famously that was like the only movie that she's ever been in, and she became a teacher somewhere. Was it California? I think maybe. So I just can't believe it's public. Yeah, it's public. So that takes us on to Alien 3. What can we say about Alien 3? It's back to one alien, and the cinematography is pretty incredible actually. They decided to to film everything from down on the ground looking upwards. And David Fincher is the director, and he's also it's also another young man who's sort of brand new to the whole movie industry, and he is very upset with the movie, and in the documentary for it, he won't. We lost them. We lost them. Keep it going, Michael. Keep it going. Keep it together. The David Fincher. It's apparently a very troubled production, and the score is, I think he's called Elliot Gondelberry? No, I'm not sure, actually. You'll have to help me out on that one. But, yeah, the music, I was, I don't know about the music on this. Is something about it that's kind of, it evokes, there's like a certain kind of, puts you into a kind of a certain kind of a mood. And it's weird. The music is I don't really know how to explain it, but the alien in the third movie is definitely I think the the best design that they did, and Alien 3 was, let's see, 19 was it 1993? Maybe. I'm not sure. I have a hard time remembering the early 90s for some reason. My memories are more kind of into the mid 90s. But there is, of course, there's a what they call the assembly cut for Alien 3, and uh it's a completely different movie, and it's a much better movie. And but at the end of the movie, it kind of gets a bit strange, where the actors or the script is just there's a lot of swearing, and I think it's not as good. The ending isn't as good as it could be. And then, of course, something happens that upsets a lot of the fans. Yeah. I don't know how this green look is going to look, what it's going to look like when it comes, when it puts it on, or well, actually, people will be able to see it right now how it looks. It may it may look really really terrible. Um, oh wow, I bet it looks terrible. Because you know how YouTube compresses this thing. Can you imagine 3 hours of the? I want to go for 3 hours on it, but I don't think I'm spending enough time on each movie to get up to 3 hours. I haven't seen these movies in a while, and I'm just kind of. But the wonderful thing about the first three movies, and maybe even I guess the first four, is that they didn't have CGI. CG had not um, taken over, and I guess we'll get into that as we go along. Um, Average view duration 22 seconds. That's just not very good. So, the third one, yes. Do I love it? Do I love the third one? It's definitely it's well made. It's very well made, and I don't really want to. I don't want to talk about it right now. I don't think I want to talk about that right now. So, Alien. So let's go on to Alien Resurrection, which was also made in the 90s, and that's when the French director he comes on, and I can't remember his name, but he made the movie Amelie and Delicatessen and the City of the Lost Children, and he's quite, like his stuff is his photography is very is pretty good, but it's different from the others. Can you do this live? Let's see. Can it be changed live? It looks like it can be changed live. So, green is very much the color that they like to use for the first Alien. So that's why I was on green. What was it? This is distracting, isn't it? It's quite distracting. Alien Resurrection. Yes, the French. That's right. The French director. Uh, I don't have any notes here. It's all in my head, so I just keep going. I know that it's got that. It's got a couple of. It's got Ron Perlman in it, and it's got a French actor who was in Delicatessen, and then it's got Winona Ryder as So it's a twist. There is a twist in it with her. Spoiler. Spoiler alert. She is the android in it. And this was the first time that I got to see an alien movie at the movie theater, and it was a midnight screening in the city of Edinburgh. Edinburgh. And my sister had asked me which movie I wanted to go and see, and she actually wanted to go and see. She had actually seen it, and so she wanted to see Jackie Brown. It must have come out at the same time, and obviously, and so she wanted to see Jackie Brown. I, because I'm a science fiction crazy, wanted to see the Alien movie, and so we went to see that. I always thought it was really good of her to do that, because it can be a bit, it can be slightly fatiguing if you've already seen something, and you may not have even liked the thing that you saw. I don't know if she. I don't. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know what she thinks of Alien Resurrection. So, but it's a Joss Whedon script, and you can tell that it's kind of like it feels a little bit like Firefly, and but it seems to be kind of like the Poseidon adventure, and we've got this really great underwater sequence where they really did a great job on that, and even the CG was that was, I believe this was the first time that the xenomorphs were CG'd. I think so. CG was starting to become more and more of a thing, and yeah, they I believe they CG'd the xenomorphs for this movie, but not for the whole thing. And then, of course, it goes a little bit nuts at the end, and nobody really likes the way that it goes at the end. I don't think so. But it was but it had a lot of things about it that were really good. Like Ron Perlman and Sigourney Weaver again. Always gets back to Sigourney being really, really good in these movies. And then that was unfortunately the last time that we saw her was in that, and she never was in another one again after that. Some people won't do Alien versus Predator. They'd like to skip those two, and they. I'm getting distracted again by the live. I need to stop looking at it. It's really not very helpful to do that. But it's getting kind of cold in here. So 4 views. Okay, so Alien versus Predator, we have It's not Wes Anderson. It's Paul Anderson comes in to direct that one, and it's actually, I think it's actually quite good. But again, I guess it goes a little bit it goes a bit crazy at the end. You know, that's sort of a reoccurring thing at this point where the endings are becoming, they seem to be becoming weak, I think. Um, the it's a but it's a very well, it's very well made, and Lance Hendrickson is back again in it as a, he's a human character, and we have a pyramid under the ice, and it's set on Earth, and uh, it's all practical effects. I don't think there's, well, there's a, I think there's a scene. There is some CG actually. Yeah, I think there's a bit of CG where there's like a scene. I don't know. It's been a while. It's been a while. Uh, we're only at 26 minutes. It's got that Scottish actor in it, who was in Train Spotting, who played the character Spud, and he's in it, and if you ever get the chance to, I recommend listening to the commentary for it. The commentary was really quite good, and because you get to know so much more about these movies when you put on the commentary, and then they went and they did Alien versus Predator 2. I think it's called Requiem or something, and it's just terrible. It's a really, really terrible one, and it kind of destroyed. I guess it destroyed the momentum that they had, because they did not do a third one, and I think it would be an interesting one to reboot and try again. Uh, if somebody was, and I have heard there's it's kind of a rumor, I think, that the guy who did so the guy who directed Prey, is they were talking with the Alien Romulus director, and they were, I think, possibly talking about, ideas for like a crossover thing. I think, but I might be wrong. I actually had an idea for it, and I wanted a human to get sort of like a soldier, like a real tough, incredibly. He's incredibly good at his job, and he gets captured by a predator and taken back to the predator homeworld, and then that and that's where the majority of the movie takes place. Um, and there's like an arena, and there's different. It's kind of like a sort of gladiator type of thing, but it's with so you have the xenomorph there, and you have the predators there, and this soldier has to kind of like, I don't know. It was just an idea, and I haven't really I've never written it out. I think it would be hard to write. But that was my idea. I think we only ever got to see the Predator homeworld once, and I think it's in Alien AVP 2 Requiem, and you get to see it briefly. and that's it. But you do get a little bit of Predator. Predator 2, we do get that wall that has all those trophies, and that's another little piece of information. And so Prometheus, when that arrived, that I got quite excited, because Ridley Scott was back again, and dragged my mother to the movie theater, and and I don't think she enjoyed it, and I think a lot of people were annoyed by it, but it's a really weird, it's a really weird movie because it's really well made, and it's really like I don't ever get bored with it, and I've rewatched. It has a great rewatchability, if that's a word, and um. I think that it's I quite like it, but I did for quite a long time there, uh, quite a few years. I was really annoyed with it. I didn't really like the characters, though I like the David character, but I didn't really like any of the other characters, and I thought that it was a bit irritating. But I think that it was actually quite good when you compare it to some of the other stuff, you know. And then it gets quite controversial when I say Alien Covenant. Alien Covenant comes along, and I see that. I go to the movie theater to see that in America, and I really enjoyed that one. I think more than Prometheus, and but people were not too happy about that one. It seemed, and so that timeline with what happened there, we don't know what happened to David because we did not get the third part. I really hope they do the third part, but it's a really yeah, it's a very fun, it's a fun movie. It's, and then, well, this is not going to go to 3 hours, is it? This is not gonna. I'm actually getting quite tired. Uh, I should have tried to. Got hardly any water here. uh, Alien Romulus arrives. We could talk about the Neil Blomkamp incident where he had an idea, and he had the concept art, and he had all the. I think he had like the script, and he wanted to bring Sigourney Weaver back, and he wanted to bring them all, three of them back, but it got squashed on, and I think by Ridley Scott, and he directed Alien Covenant, and then after that, I don't know what happened to Blomkamp after that, but like nothing, because the Freddy, I think he's got Freddy something. He does Alien Romulus, and the first time I saw that, I was really kind of, I didn't think it was very good. I wonder if I'm starting to feel nauseous as well. So it's like that story with David Lynch and the headache. It's like George took me upstairs and he's wanted to show me something called a Wookiee. And my headache got worse. Yeah, so yes, I saw it. I saw Alien Romulus, and then I was like, really was not terribly happy with it. And then I saw it again, and I thought it was much better than you know, but it still has a terrible. It's got a terrible. It suffers from a terrible ending syndrome. I think that's the thing about Prometheus is the ending isn't it's a better ending. Yeah, the Prometheus and Alien Covenant I think have got stronger endings than Alien Romulus, and well, of course, you know, AVP 2 and AVP and Alien Resurrection and Alien 3. They've got better endings, I feel. So but it was clear to me that Alien Romulus is actually quite well made, and the android in it, oh goodness, what's his name? Andy, I think he's called Andy. He was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant in the movie, and it was yeah. I mean, I don't think that I think that the main woman in it is. I really don't remember much about her. I think that performance is gonna be like it's not like, I mean, I guess I compare it to Sigourney, and maybe I shouldn't be doing that. Maybe that's kind of uh something I shouldn't be doing. But her performance, I think, was yeah. People are probably going to jump on me for this one, but it's not that the performance is bad. It's just that that there's something it's not memorable. I think I don't remember anything much about it. Whereas Sigourney Weaver, there was something there that was memorable. I do know that Ridley Scott said he was very happy with Alien Romulus, and it did extremely well at the box office. And they're going to make they actually announced that they were going to do a sequel, and I'm glad that it's staying alive, because it did look like things were like not good for this franchise when they didn't have the money. The box office what they call takings were not very good for Alien Covenant. So if they'd had like two failures in a row, it would have I don't know, it might have bounced back eventually, because it seems like it's the kind of franchise where it does bounce back. Sometimes you get very, very long gaps in between these movies. You know, like, I mean, Indiana Jones. The Indiana Jones movies, it's the gaps are like, you know, almost getting on for like 20 years. I think it was Rambo. I think it was Rambo Rambo, I think there was a 20-year gap. But they came back, and because they're much loved franchises, and it would be they recently with Terminator they did an animation, like I think they gave it to the Japanese, and I saw that, and it was quite interesting. It'd be interesting if they gave the alien, if they said to the Japanese, here, do a Japanese animation. But it wasn't. It had problems. That animation had Terminator animation had a lot of problems. Yeah, the Terminator franchise seems to keep on going too. It's like they let's see now, Terminator 19. Is the first one 80? I think it's early 80s, and then yeah, they both kind of started at a similar time period, I guess. Alien was 1979, and Terminator was, I don't know, it's like 83 or 80. Maybe it's Terminator that's 84, and then Aliens is more like, I don't know. We managed to get to 42 minutes. I really don't know what else to talk about though, because I think I've run out of things to say on it. So I might have to go. I'm still in a bit of shock here that that's allowed me to go public. That was a surprise, and I think that affected things somewhat. Okay, so I will go now, and I will see you in the next one. I hope that this was okay. I think it was a bit all over the place. I seemed to get quite tired when I was doing it, so I think it's better if I just talk about lots and lots of different things, and then I might be able to go for 3 hours. But it's that was tricky. That was tricky. Okay, so just go here, and then I will see you all in the next one.